Today I'm going to show you guys how I use this selfie stick right here and my Cinelogue 25 to create the most epic shot I've ever had in my life. My favorite FPV shot to date. So a couple weeks at Treefort Music Festival, I had this idea. I've been wanting to attach this selfie stick to this drone and use it as a way of catching the drone and doing a selfie. So I had this idea back in, I think it was like October, maybe September, so a long time ago. Okay, so here's my idea. So basically, take my 5-inch, stick one of these guys to the drone. Should fit right there. Might do some cutting or whatever, but we'll make it work. We just basically hook this to this. This extends out. It's only 60 grams. So then it's like, this is on the bottom, boom. That's perfect. But this is too big, 2.5 inch. So I think it's like the same method, but maybe find like a wooden dowel that weighs less. And it doesn't even have to be that big. It can be like this. I just need to find a way to mount it because I don't have anything to mount on the bottom. If it was like a wooden dowel with like a flat plate, I could like zip tie it around, maybe. That could be an option. I don't know. Okay, I think we got it. I'm waiting for the glue to dry, but basically, I mean, that's the concept. 6 inches, wait for the glue to dry. I got it screwed in there, and then we just zip tie. I'll probably use smaller zip ties just because there's not a lot of space, but then we can hold it. This could be sick. It's not the 5-inch, but I think we can create some like people shots with these, which would be fun. Treefort was 2 weeks ago at the end of March, and back in September, October, I had this idea of attaching this, making a selfie stick, and let's fly it and see if somebody would catch it. At first, it was a simple idea of like, maybe we can have patrons do it, maybe we can have guests, people working the festival, things like that. Most of us FPV pilots and creators do, we always the idea gets a little crazier and crazier and crazier. So, well, what if one of the artists wanted to do it? Like, why not take it up to the highest notch possible? Like, what if one of the headliners, what if one of the artists, what if anybody? Like, it would just be epic. We started reaching out to everybody, and Sophie Tucker they're like, we're down. Like, F it, let's do it. Built this little dowel right here. Basically, it's just, all it is this little wooden dowel, and then I took a little piece of wood from the top, and we screwed it in. I glued it into place so it would hold a little bit better. And then I did drill out a small little hole in the bottom as far as I could go to decrease the weight just a little bit. A couple things I wanted to do when I was building this. One, I didn't want it to be the exact size. I didn't want it to be the exact size of your hand. So the goal is I want to get their hand as far away from the propellers as possible to keep it as safe as possible. So when attaching it, if you were to grab it on the bottom, there's still a little bit of gap in between, right? If I was to even grab it in the middle, there's still a little bit of gap. So somebody has bigger hands or whatever, there's gonna be a little bit of a gap in between. Grab the drone on the bottom if you were to catch it right here, and then you're gonna be safe in between. I also needed a drone that was able to mount it. So that was also another key. So I just got my Cinelogue 30, and I thought that would be perfect. But with the way they have the DJI O4 Air unit in there, there's no leeway to be able to stick anything in there. I didn't want to permanently mount something on here because that's just added weight that I have to take off. So I was like, how can I attach it and then detach it quickly afterwards so I can continue flying? So I noticed there's a little bit of a gap in the Cinelogue with the air unit in here. So I was able to stick in some small zip ties. I took in 2 zip ties, and then we would zip tie it to the bottom of this. So the zip ties would wrap around the dowel right here on the bottom, and then I could just screw the plate back into place. And then we could snug fit it. If you wanted to, you could go 4 zip ties, so 2 across this way and then 2 across this way as well. And then once you're done with it, the beauty of it is I had a pair of clippers with me. You can just cut off the zip ties, boom, pull them out, and then you're back to flying as normal. So there's no like give and take. It does take a little bit of time to set up, but I knew this was a one-shot thing. Like, we weren't gonna be flying with it a bunch. It was gonna be kind of more just like specialized per se. Once we had it in place, we were good to go. In terms of the planning process, so the planning process was going to be kind of unique. We had reached out to Sophie Tucker's team. I think it was Monday that week. They were down. Like, let's talk about it when we get there. Let's chat about it. Let's do the whole thing. I was like, sick, let's do it. So they get there. Their show was Saturday night. We get there Saturday. We start planning. So I walk over I go backstage to their trailer, ask them what song they wanted to do. We kind of gone back and forth about different songs and everything. Unfortunately, I don't have any of this recorded or any filmed. I didn't want to, I wanted to respect their privacy on everything, so we kind of just let that go. We ended up deciding on Purple Hat. Purple Hat is probably their most famous song. It's what they're most well known for. And then it was kind of figuring out, okay, well, when in the show is it going to be played? One thing with DJs is it's not like a band where they have a set list and they go in order. So it's kind of like they play it out and they feel it out kind of depending upon the crowd and when they need to play a song in order to get people hyped up and going. But one thing that did help was they have a remix of Purple Hat that they play first, and then they would play Purple Hat next. So once we heard the remix, we knew it was go time. And we did some practice while we were there as well. Practice with Tucker a little bit, kind of explained everything. It's like, hey, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fly towards you, you're going to catch it. You're going to do your little selfie, you're going to wave around a little bit, and then once I turn on the propellers, you're going to kind of like slightly let go a little bit, and then once you feel the air and the thrust, like let go, because then I'm going to take off. So what we do is I took the drone, I had my buddy who was there visually observing me, and I set up 2 chairs to take off from because it's a little more difficult. Obviously, you can't just like take off from the ground because it's not flat anymore. You got this dowel. I set up 2 chairs, like a little bit of a platform, and we took off from that and we heard it. I've heard the song so many times, which made it so much easier to kind of coordinate. So once we heard the Purple Hat song going, took off towards all the way to the back because I wanted to come all the way from the back towards the front to catch him. Came in, and then you can kind of see in the video, once I show the video here in a little bit, that he kind of it almost looks like he forgets a little bit, but I think he was just kind of like playing the role and everything. Because I'm kind of hovering there. I might have been a little bit early, but I think being early also helped because it kind of triggered him. It was like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. We got to remember to do this. And then once I saw him do this little head nod, it was kind of like the beat of like Purple Hat. He does this head nod. I was like, it's go time. So we flew in, he grabbed the drone, did the selfie, and once he spun around and did a few things, I was like, okay, it's time to take off. And then we turned the propellers on, and there was a little bit of a tug there, and I kind of had to use quite a bit of thrust to get going again, but we took off again and we started flying. And yeah, it was one of the coolest, and like I think that's one of the first times I've ever been flying and like let out a scream of just like pure excitement and like, holy, this is happening. Like, we nailed it. Now it's the easy part. I just get to fly around, don't mess this up, don't do anything crazy. And yeah, it was just like one of the most surreal, craziest things that's ever happened before. But yeah, Sophie Tucker caught the drone. I think this is here to stay, and I think there's a way we can use this for other drones, like maybe the 5-inch, and do some other cool stuff. Here's that shot, and if there's any questions you guys have of how this went about, it's pretty simple. It was literally just build the dowel, attach it with some zip ties, and then do some practice flights here and there, and just kind of, you know, perfect it and figure it out. And here's the shot. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Apart from you now.